1/4 of our equation in the heavyweight title tournament semifinal is clear with the victory of Trey Lamar. The second part of that equation will be clear after this match. Oh God, he's singing.
Please hold your applause. I want it that way. Tell me what.
You have the copyright clearance for this?
Tell me what ain't nothing but a mistake.
Get the hook.
I never wanna hear you say I want it that way.
Stop bleeding. That's the way I want it.
Do me a favor. When I'm singing, shut your white trash mouths.
I don't think you can get many American Idol votes for that. One-man boy band. Taking out something to bring a different energy to the fold. Somebody born with the genetics to succeed in this sport. Brian Pillman Jr. has a lot to live up to with that name. His father, a trendsetter in junior heavyweight style wrestling in this country, with names like Jushin Thunder Liger and Brad Armstrong, and then certainly, who can forget Brian's controversial loose cannon days in the mid-1990s. Brian Jr. continuing that legacy of excellence in professional wrestling, currently one half of the Varsity Blondes with Griff Garrison in AEW, but moreover than that, Brian's got a home turf advantage of sorts, of course, growing up in the Cincinnati area, under an hour drive from where we are here in Versailles. A lot of these fans, you can believe, grew up watching Brian's father.
I'm good.
Maybe even saw him play college football, University of Miami at Ohio. Love the ovation for the promised prince, prodigal son. And Brian's got where he is on work ethic, on determination, on grit. An important thing to point out is that Brian, he's second generation, but a lot of the advantages that second generation athletes have, Brian doesn't have. Brian's father tragically passed when Brian was 4 years old. Brian has not had his father to travel the roads with to get advice from, and Brian did not grow up around this sport, and his family was really very distant from it. When Brian was young, certainly Brian's been very public about his upbringing on the Dark Side of the Ring series, if you saw that on Vice. So Brian has all the same pressures, but sometimes he's coming in from behind the 8 ball. And Brian Jr. has controlled Eric James in the early part of this bout. A one-man boy band thrown off this game.
Oh, daddy!
Nice drop step into the go-behind by James. Pillman the switch. Nice mat wrestling. Notice Pillman elevates himself as James is in the chancery. James does not have a way to leverage out. Pillman keeping the dominant position on James, rolling through as James tries to counter. Very, very smart wrestling by the finest mullet in the game today. That belonging to Brian Pillman Jr. Had a chance to work with Brian Jr. extensively. We're we released the Brian Pillman Memorial shows, those famed historic events, late 90s and early 2000s. Happening now on PillmanShow.com. And it was so great to see as James turns things around. I was going to say, it's so great to see Pillman's eyes light up to see some of the memorabilia and some of that footage. And to see Brian, age 6 years old, 7 years old, be around this sport for the few times that he was. You could tell even back then where his destiny was. Chase Quickens, great leapfrog. Shades of Brian Sr. here. And a little bit of style points as well. Eric James has been the butt of the joke thus far. The self-proclaimed lead singer of professional wrestling has hit with some metaphorical feedback that he wasn't prepared for.
You're damn right. Shake your hand. Yep.
Oh, hey, come on. Well, you can tell James is taking this personally. He feels a little bit embarrassed, humiliated at how he's been treated. And keep in mind, as Pillman elevates himself with a drop kick. Very first round of the title tournament. Crowd supporting their hometown favorite, but you only have one chance to make a first impression here at TSW. Only one of these men can join Trey Lamar in the field of four that we will see battle it out coming up at Gold Rush coming up in the month of October. In a good place right now mentally, I'd suggest. Showing off a bit.
New York City!
You can see the frustration, the fire in the eyes of Eric James. Pillman showing off. Pillman keeping that psychological advantage. James a step ahead. Pillman caught James flush in the face. And I'd suggest advantage Pillman as this fight spills to the floor.
That's my guy right there! He's up there! See?
The Pillmans have always been very strong strikers, Pillman Jr. or Sr. Youngsters getting popular. And Pillman, lighting Eric James up. James fired back, but hurt himself with a thick chest of Pillman Jr. He did some damage, but he may have done more damage to himself. James is just looking for an escape at this point. Just trying to get away. Love that fire on Pillman Jr. What a first ever TSW champion he would make with James. Pillman coming in. Going there with the drop kick. And Pillman sees an opening for half crab, but James resourceful in his own right, finds the ropes. James is not here on accident. He's here on reputation. He's here on success he's had all over this country, especially in the East Coast area. A Pillman charged in, but James pulled the official in the pad that James took advantage. Pillman, shoulder first into that ring post.
Come on now, you know you gotta get Junior by the count of 10. Let's go.
And Pillman's hurt badly. Brian Pillman, the receiving end of a game changer, courtesy of James, as that shot to the corner has left Pillman out of sorts and now back first on the ring frame. Takes things from bad to worse.
Not one. I'm the man. You up there, you shut up, bitch.
Overlook, hey now. Do not overlook Eric James. Graduate of the Creative Pro Wrestling Academy. Champion there. Once upon a time, and you know that Ron Myers and Pat Buck run a tight ship. Eric James does not get to the top of that organization on accident. Nice elevation of the elbow.
My lady over here wants one more.
James is in his element now. Not sure if that kind of posturing is going to help you win any wrestling matches. But to get under the skin of your opponent, probably these fans as well, who James referred to as, quote, white trash when this matchup started. James pressing his advantage on Pillman. Pillman hard into the buckle, and Pillman tried to come out explosive. But James met him with a clothesline and a near fall center ring. Check out the wide base as James leans into that chin lock. Making Pillman carry that body weight.
Show him some fight, Brian. Come on.
You can see the consternation of the Mason Pillman Jr. He's driven right back down as he tries to get to his feet.
He goes if I let him.
James feels he's firmly in control of the situation. To his lead, strike away. Looking for an opening here. James caught Pillman high. Pillman quicker than pace, but James capitalized and only got two. Some of these fans are getting on James' case for maybe having a temper issue. Back to the chin lock. You're not going to get a submission here, but what you're going to do is sap a lot of energy away from Pillman Jr. and maybe take away his quickness. And Pillman just in survival mode here, fighting any way he can. James double underhook. Pillman kicks with the legs to counter. Pillman the roll up here, but put away. And from behind, James, almost a modified Pele kick and a neck breaker. I love the combo. I love what James is able to do. Stringing these moves together. Tiger Bomb connects. Will this be enough? Oh, 2 count only. Not sure if you consider this an upset if James is victorious. I think that may depend on what part of the country you live in more than anything. How your opinion rides there.
Shut up.
And it's Eric James. Scaling to the top rope. Looking to take a chance. Elbow, nobody home. Does Brian Pillman have enough of an opening? Does Brian Pillman have an opportunity to rally? Oh, but got caught coming in. Pillman the back suplex. Brian Pillman Jr. is starting to feel it. Pillman's unloading. He's not lost a bit of that intensity. James set down. Second time. Hook clothesline. Nicely done. Back suplex connects. Brian Pillman Jr. 3-point stand change of his father as a Cincinnati vet. angle. And Pillman, fisherman driver. Not enough. Oh man, James just able to roll his weight. Pillman stays attached to James, won't let him get away. James is struggling. Doing whatever he can. And he's got himself caught. Center of the ring. This half Boston Crab, James of Pillman's trainer. Lance Storm in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. But James keeps pushing up, which enabled him to get to the rope. Pillman couldn't lean back because of the resistance of James pushing up. That's what saved James and got him to the rope. Pillman not going to quit though. Pillman going to keep the fight. Oh, Pillman sent into that second rope. Pillman, he's trying to catch his breath here, and ill-advised. When you're breathing heavy, James it's almost like he baited Pillman in. Caught him with the powerbomb, caught him with the elbow. James on top, and now he couldn't put him away. What an effort. What intestinal fortitude from both these men we're seeing here.
That's your hero. That's your guy.
And we're only in the
Pillman's
first
a dead
round
man.
of the title tournament. Just imagine what's still to come as James went for broke and caught himself very precariously. Pillman the springboard double stomp. And here we go. Drops it down with a jackhammer. Pillman the near fall. Oh man, I can only imagine what the fans are saying about this matchup at TSPW Pro Wrestling on Twitter, on Instagram. Use the hashtag TSWOrigins and tell us all about our inaugural event through your eyes. But through the eyes of Brian Pillman Jr., we could be moments away from victory, from advancing to the semifinals of our title tournament. But James will not go quietly. He continues fighting back. Saving grace for Mr. One-Man Boy Band, but Pillman looking to send him in via super. Oh no! James trying to suplex Pillman to the floor. That could have ended this thing. Does Pillman have control? James trying to kick his way into a counter. He does. Paddle counter roll. Hey, under the ropes. Oh, Eric James just stole this. Watching his GPA research earlier on, got an idea.
So much smarter.
But Eric James, you can argue, you can protest, you don't have to like the result or how we got here. The bottom line is, Eric James joins Trey Lamar in the semifinals. God, he's not going to grace us with another a cappella rendition of his favorite boy band hit. But we will see more of him as the title tournament rolls on. Brian Pillman getting much deserved adulation. Many fans this place home just as he does. This is Nate Pelly.
Let me introduce myself to you and to all these disgusting people here. Shut up! My name is Nate the Snake Pelly, and I know that you're probably thrilled to be sharing a ring with someone such as myself.
Well, this guy is a power player. He's got a reputation.
What I suggest is that we have a little partnership and we can start it right here tonight. I can take you under my wing. I can show you a few things. First of all, we're going to have to change those tights. We don't like stripes. You need some snake print on there. Second of all, the haircut. The 80s are over. We need to get you a new haircut like this. And here's the thing, Brian. What we're going to do, because I like you so much, typically when I bring in a new client, I only charge them 50%. But because I like you, and I think you have some potential, 35% for you tonight. Tonight only. What do you say, Brian?
No! 45%? This could be a most auspicious partnership.
We agree!
If we see it. Oh, Brian Pillman! That's what he thinks of your offer, pal. Yeah, that's about what he deserves. 0%, Brian Pillman, the last word here near his hometown of Cincinnati. Hopefully you see a lot more of the Varsity Blonde here at Tri-State Wrestling.